Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you are all doing well. Mamma mia, I'm missing football, I'm missing Juventus, yes of course, there is the Nations League that started yesterday with Spain and Portugal and so on, I know all that, but I miss my black and white shirted Juventus. I miss it so much and we will have to wait, especially because we are speaking every single day about Juve, we are speaking about a virtual Mercato, because Mercato, we know it, didn't officially start, it will start on the 1st of July, so we will have to be a bit patient. My friends, I know it's super annoying to hear every single day the same name. We are speaking Pogba, Di Maria, Pogba, Pogba, Di Maria, Pogba, Pogba, Udogie, Di Maria, Pogba, Molina, Di Maria, Pogba, it's all days like that. I know. One step closer, and then the supporters, they are starting to be a bit more annoyed. You heard it at my voice. Today it's a calmer video because I don't want to go with a lot of news that I will report and so on, you know, the usual one, going into the front pages and inside the Italian papers. No, today I want to be calmer and giving a bit more opinions. Why are Pogba and Di Maria not yet Juve players? So a bit of an update and an opinion, and then especially two other names. Molina, Udogie, one is closer to Juve, one will not arrive at Juventus, even if we already spent time making a video to understand how he was playing, and then the big possibility as a center back, so swapping Demiral with Koulibaly, giving my opinion. Some I'm absolutely in favor of, some I really don't want to. So I will invite you, my friends, if you want to keep and be up to date about everything regarding Juve. For example, Morata, that yesterday was speaking about his future at Juve, saying that it was not up to him. If you want to have a bit more detail, download OneFootball. It is for free for iOS and for Android, but also looking at alternatives for Morata in case he will not be a Juve player anymore. And they are speaking about Timo Werner, but also Gabriel Jesus. So all these news and the details are in OneFootball, so I really recommend you download it with the link. Don't go like that, just download it with the link or with the QR code. And now we can go with my news. Of course, we'll start with Paul Pogba, because between the names that I just mentioned right before, Molina, Demiral, Koulibaly, and so on, the closest one is probably Paul Pogba, and I will explain you why. So Paul Pogba, why am I super optimistic and convinced that Paul Pogba will be a black and white player? Because hearing Romeo Agresti, and you know Romeo Agresti is the closest one to the Juve world, he is totally convinced. In someone that is not going with big bold statement, anticipating with months and months, saying yes, it will be a Juve player just with the sake of having clicks or with the sake of making supporters happy. Romeo Agresti is absolutely not like that. He's going with bolder statements from the one moment that he's convinced, and we were speaking together, and he was also saying that now he started to be really convinced. He's always cautious, he really wants to be cautious about the news, to not make people go crazy, but already yesterday he tweeted one step from Juventus. This morning was also explaining in his channel, in his video, that he knows from close sources that Paul Pogba already spoke with some of his friends, close friends that are also living in Torino, where Romeo Agresti is living at, saying that he has chosen Juventus. Also with his heart, of course, he will win some money. Of course, he will do that. Juventus that started with a 7.5 offer for 3 years. They negotiated, they continued to negotiate, and Juventus increased the offer to around 8 million plus bonus for 4 years. So longer contract for Octopus Paul Pogba, that is born in France. We know our 29 years old player that could potentially be really soon announced by Juventus. Maybe next week, maybe, who knows, the theory of the documentary that will be on the 17th of June. We will have to wait. Not that long, of course, because he should be the first name linked to Juve. So Paul Pogba also said no to Manchester City. Guardiola in first person. You remember Mourinho taking the phone and calling to Dybala. Conte doing it with Perisic. Guardiola did the same. Took his phone and he talked with Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba said no. He really wanted change. He wanted even lower money, but feeling at the center of the project. And we can't doubt, for the people that are still doubting Pogba, about the qualities. You take Pogba instantly is the best midfielder we have. We can discuss about injuries, yes, maybe, but Paul Pogba is the first one. And wait, because it can be announced from one moment or each other. I'm believing of next week. We know that yesterday it was a national day of Italy, so there was an off day today. They are not working, most of them are not working. Then you go into the weekend, so maybe probably in beginning of next week, somewhere next week. Now we start speaking about Di Maria, a bit shorter and faster. We know already nearly everything. They met in Wembley with Cherubini and the entourage of Juventus, but also from the player before the game of Italy-Argentina. At the moment, is still with the Argentinian team. They have still a friendly to play before going in holiday. Yesterday he spoke also to some papers, to some Spanish papers, that at the moment is tranquilo. He didn't decide yet, but internal sources are saying that yes, they were discussing, and the big point was 1 year or 2 years of contract. 1 year, why not for Juventus, but then with lower salary. 2 years, we can pay a bit more, you know, the law in Italy. I don't want to repeat every single day the same thing, of course, for Di Maria. Now, Di Maria, one of the big things that Juventus is trying to understand is the post World Cup 22 Argentina team. Di Maria, what will be his motivations? Because we know that he wants to go back in Argentina, but the months after the World Cup, what kind of Di Maria will Juventus see? We don't doubt about the professionalism of the player, but we know that from the moment the head is a bit confused if they have a really disaster World Cup or so on. Juventus is trying to understand also what is able to do with other options on the Mercato, and that's why the names, and you know how much I dislike that name of Berardi, are still linked with Juve. Berardi, Zaniolo, a lot of these names, because Juventus are thinking, okay, what do we do? One, immediate, instant players that is and obviously bigger and better than Berardi, Zaniolo at the moment, like Di Maria. We go for him knowing that it's for 1 year and then it's gone with a lot of money, or do we invest some money for a player that can stay here 3, 4, 5 years and already starting building the future, because we know that Cuadrado will leave after 1 year, so we have to already think about the future. And that brings us to Udinese. Udinese, the team that Cuadrado is coming from, you know, of course, he went to Udinese, Fiorentina, Chelsea, but he played at Udinese after Lecce, and we know that the Juventus is in talks with them. It's not a destiny. I'm not speaking about Udogie this time. It's not a destiny that Cherubini was in London, and we are speaking now about Udinese, because Pozzo, they have a club also in UK, and they are represented there in London. The family Pozzo is also the owner of Udinese. They spoke, and we were all thinking that they were all in for Udogie, that he was the preferred one. Why? Because with Alexandro and De Sciglio, we know that we have a problem on the left side. Alexandro and not De Sciglio at the moment, but Pellegrini. We know that we have a problem there, and we have absolutely not problem in terms of numbers of available players on the right, because you have De Sciglio, Danilo, and eventually, if case of needed, you also have a Cuadrado. 3 players potentially on the right, 2 players on the left. It's not the number quantity that is a problem, but the quality of these players, especially on the left side, where we saw that the tandem, the duo Pellegrini-Alexandro was absolutely not working. We know that Alexandro will remain 1 more year, so Juventus was going all in for Udogie. Yesterday we heard that Udogie will remain an extra year at Udinese, what in a way makes sense for a really young player that is actually at his first real season at the big team, because he played a really great season with 35 games in Serie A, yes, but he just arrived, a kid, 19 years old. He need maybe a bit more experience. Udinese wants to keep him. Udogie is also thinking logically that it's not bad to continue to be a starter instead of playing already to fight for that left spot at Juventus, where we know that we cannot fail. So Udogie, no. But on the other hand, we are linked more and more to Molina. Molina will not be a flash sale. It's not that we will go on the 1st of July and we will sign him. No, it will take a bit of time, because Juventus needs really to understand what to do, because the player is really great. We saw him also in Italy, Argentina. It's really great on the right side, and he can be the present and the future on the right side. So I'm thinking Molina, Cuadrado, Danilo, De Sciglio. What will happen there? Guys, I have a bad news. Thinking logically, and then maybe I will be surprised, but thinking logically, it's maybe that we want to put all our efforts in the midfield, in defense. We'll speak about the center back in a second. Maybe also offensively, where we will have to rebuild after Morata, Dybala, Bernardeschi, all these players leaving, and maybe waiting one more year for the left back, because probably there are no possible great options at the moment. What does that mean? We will probably sell Pellegrini and move De Sciglio from the right side to the left, so that you have a De Sciglio, Alexandro on the left, and Molina and Danilo on the right, with Cuadrado that will be the sub offensively, but that can play a bit everywhere, up and down. Hey, is it a great news? No, it's not. No, I can't defend that one, especially if we know how much we need a left back, but I believe that that's what will happen. Molina, 35 million euro. Udinese cost a lot of money. Yeah, we already experienced that in the past. Maybe we can insert a player like Ranocchia in the deal to lower the cash. Udinese, we have really great feeling with the company between Udinese and Juventus, so they are absolutely not saying no, but they want some cash, some money, and maybe even a young player. So let's see what will happen there. We know that we still have Rovella, Fagioli, and so on, who will go to Udinese to have Molina. Is it a great move, guys? For the future, yes, because Molina, he can play in a 4-3-3 as we saw with Argentina. He can also play in a 3-5-2. It's perfect. 24 years already, 16 presences, appearances with Argentina. He's a player that I would love to have for the future. The problem is that having him, probably you can't repair and fix your left side. And the right side, it's not a problem. It's the left side. But then, thinking about the left side, we are going into the last comment. And guys, we are at 12 minutes, so we are in a normal Juve video. Guys, let me know if you like it also, that I'm giving also more opinion and updates more than reporting the news in the morning video. But thinking about the center back, because Juventus is going for center back, we are still obsessed with Koulibaly. And it makes sense. Yesterday, Real Madrid, they announced Rudiger to them. Bremer is between Milan and Inter, with Inter at 95%. If they are able to sell maybe Bastoni to Tottenham, they will go and sign the player. Juventus is on Koulibaly. They want, they are obsessed, and they will try everything they have until the moment they receive a yes or a no. If it's a no, it's a no, and then we go with other options. But until then, Juventus will go. The player we know, last year of contract with Napoli, De Laurentiis, he wanted to give him 3 million instead of the 6 that he has for a renewal. He already started putting them on the papers publicly, telling that or they choose with the heart or they choose for the money. With guys, renewing for a player that is not 35, it's only 30. Koulibaly, center backs, they can play until 36, 37. He's saying or they choose with the heart or with the money. Okay, great, but Koulibaly at 3 million is disgusting. He's a disgrace, guys, my friend. But De Laurentiis is playing like that. Why? Because he's already starting in, put his mind in, I will put the blame on the player, so that the Napoli fans, they start hating the player instead of me. So putting the blame, it's the strategy that we saw so many times from people like De Laurentiis. He's smart, he's smart. Commisso is doing the same with Chiesa, with Vlahovic. They are doing all the same strategy. So it means that Koulibaly will leave. Will he go to Juve or not? We don't know. At the moment, Barcelona was a priority, was the favorite, but the problem is that Barcelona, they need to sell, and not a few players, a lot of players, or a lot of expensive players like De Jong going to Manchester United for 75-80 million euro, because they need cash. If not, they are not able to already announce the players that they had, like Kessié from Milan, that they already signed, but they can't officialize it because they have some financial problem. Will Juventus go between the lines and take Koulibaly? It will depend of the defender of Senegal. It will depend on him. Why? Because or he's really going with his heart and saying, no, after 8 years at Napoli, coming from Genk in Belgium, I prefer to go somewhere else. Or, you know what, I take my big chance of glory in Serie A, because I never won it, even if I was that close, even scoring versus Juve. Do you remember? Let's see what will happen with Koulibaly. One of the keys could be Demiral, and that's where I wanted to finish the video with. Demiral could be a key. Some players, some people, some fans will tell me, Beppe, but if you have already Demiral, keep Demiral. No, the problem with Demiral is the same as with Bonucci, it's the same as with De Ligt. They are all right foot players, and we know that, and we saw it already. De Ligt and Demiral, they are not, according to me, according to Romeo Agresti, that was 2 years ago on my channel, we were already speaking about that. They are not a perfect duo. They are not a perfect duo, and they didn't even have the chance to grow together because of injuries, because Demiral preferring to go to Atalanta to play and also being benched at the end. So Atalanta will probably not buy him. They will send him back, and we will maybe insert Demiral to Napoli, a right foot defender, younger, absolutely, to have a Koulibaly, more experience playing with his left foot, playing on the left, and could potentially be the perfect partner for Matthijs de Ligt. This was it for me, my friends. An opinion video you saw today. Calma, tranquillo, thinking with the brain. A different kind of video. I'm really curious if you will like the video, if you will enjoy, if you will subscribe to the video, and your comments. I'm curious about your comments about that video. Thank you, grazie, forza, Juve.